What up, freaks? Crafty here, front row at thefreakshow.com. And it was reported yesterday on at least CBSBoston.com that there is currently a bill being proposed that would reverse the current law in the books and finally allow for the lawful practice of being able to be buried with your pet. Okay, so after listening to the video report by John Keller, I have to admit, it's still a little vague, but I'm pretty sure now that they are talking about simply allowing pet burials alongside their human companions at human cemeteries. When I first read the blurb on CBSBoston.com, I thought people were looking to get their pets, like, in the coffin with them. And then, of course, I was like, what? That's fucked up, yo! You know, what are they looking to do? Euthanize little Rover or Snowball? Just so their twisted dead selves can share the eternal coffin ride with them? You know, for a highly stupid and trivial piece of news, sure is quite a few points that I thought worthy enough of actually making a video about to comment on. WTF here, huh? I mean, WTF. Let's first take a look at some of the peripheral stuff here. The first quote from the report is from a woman at the Animal Rescue League of Boston, and she says something to the effect that for people with pets, this would be a high priority. But then she says, quote, "This is your daily companion. It makes sense that you would want to be buried with your animal." Actually, no, it doesn't. See, this is where I thought the freaks were looking to actually have that shit in the coffin with them. The quote is very misleading, but regardless, sorry, it doesn't just make sense, it actually makes no sense whatsoever. And by the way, I'm an animal lover. I guess in this day and age, you have to be careful with a remark like that, but no, I love animals. I have a dog, he kicks ass, and yes, I do consider him a part of the family. But let's think about this for a second. So you die, right? And let's say, for the sake of argument, that you lived a good, long life, well into your 80s. And then, sadly and unfortunately, your old dumbass thought you could still drive. You were doing 10 in a 40-mile-per-hour zone, and there was an accident where you spent the last few hours on this planet in agonizing pain with a steering wheel half lodged in your spleen. Doctors probably could have saved you, but let's face it, you're 86, and with Obamacare, well, just not worth the anesthesia at this point. Back at home, or the home, you left behind Twinkie, a 5-year-old, 8-pound Pomeranian. For now, let's leave God and the delusion of an afterlife out of this. For now. You are dead. Twinkie is not. Twinkie probably has 5 to 10 good more years. He gets a new home at your granddaughter's best friend's cousin house in Poughkeepsie because everyone else in your family hated Twinkie. After 8 years of love and a good home in Poughkeepsie, Twinkie finally meets the fickle hand of fate and goes paws up himself. What then, huh? Are you saying Twinkie's body has to be, like, shipped back to Tulsa so he can be buried next to you? And not have his final resting place next to little Megan Wisenhunt of Poughkeepsie because why? You had him first? Or because you were stupid enough to shell out $1,500 on a heart-shaped tombstone with a bone on it and a daffy little saying like, "Here lies Twinkie, my sweet pet"? Naturally, this raises a shitload of other complications with this whole idea. Megan Wisenhunt was only 15 when Twinkie died. Let's say she's 20 after the 5-year court case, battling your estate for the right to have Twinkie buried next to her and not you. And she wins. Now what? Megan is probably going to go on and have a handful of pets over the course of her life. Not to mention, she may very well up and leave Poughkeepsie for greener pastures in Spokane or Toledo, or heck, who knows? Maybe she joins the Peace Corps and ends up spending the rest of her life outside of Burma. Are you starting to see all the potential ramifications here? Another quote taken from the report was from Stan Kaplan of the Jewish Cemetery Association of Massachusetts. And yes, that's exactly what I asked. There's a Jewish Cemetery Association of Massachusetts? Apparently so. We'll call it the JCAM from here on out. Old Stan got up in front of the state legislators to argue that, quote, God created human beings in God's image, and it cannot be compromised in burial. If there's one reason I hope this bill passes, is just to piss off Stan Kaplan. Shit, Stan, what's up? A little slow over there at the JCAM? Right, let's for a second indulge your deluded belief in this God and that he created humans in his image. What's that got to do with digging a hole next to the hole they plop your rotting corpse to plop that of Twinkie? Not only that, but okay, he created us in his image, but didn't he also create all the animals too? Wasn't he proud of that creation also? Does he think he fucked up when he created animals? From what I understand, it was on the 6th day, so maybe he was a little tired. Not thinking straight, right? It was like, guy was like, poof. Oh, shit. What the fuck are those I just made? There's a billion of them. Damn me. I need a rest. All right. Let's get to some meat and potatoes here. 2 things. I have actually thought of this kind of often in my life. No, not pet burial, but human. Exactly how much of this land are we going to take up just to house our decaying carcasses? I mean, fast forward a couple of thousand years and try to assume we won't completely destroy or otherwise blow this planet up. We'll have to have like whole states or countries used just for friggin' graveyards. It's all a bit silly, isn't it? I mean, the whole thing. People spending thousands of dollars on coffins made of soy-based resin with a hemp lining and finished with a high-gloss varnish. Really? This just in, you're dead. And again, even if you know in your heart of hearts that you'll be floating up to the skies for an eternity of harp music or 72 virgins or the off chance that you head in the other direction into the lake of fire and burning and torture and pain. Even more reason not to waste your kid's inheritance on this bullshit, wouldn't you say? But back to Twinkie. Where does it stop? Sure, people now are talking about cats and dogs. What about birds? Or snakes? Hamsters? Gerbils? What about the pet turtles that most certainly are going to outlive your ass? Some people, okay, a lot of people, put stock in cemeteries being all but holy ground. Forget the space issue. How do you think Reverend Archibald is going to feel visiting his wife of 50 years, getting down on one knee to say a prayer to her, looks over and sees, here lies Mr. Twitchy, beloved pet rat of Eunice B. Spooner, R.I.P.? Finally, as I have spent entirely way too much time on this, well, that's just the point. Are you telling me that legislators and lawmakers in Massachusetts have nothing better to do than debate and listen to arguments on the validity of pets being buried alongside their human counterparts? Really? Last I looked, Massachusetts was a fucking mess. Have they truly cleared the docket to where they are down to pet burial laws? My guess is no fucking way. But if so, well done, Massachusetts. Well done. All right, that's it for now from the front row. You freaks be good now. You hear? What up, freaks? Thanks for watching. Hey, wondering how you can help us here in the front row? Well, here's a few ways. First, start by clicking the subscribe button. That would be awesome. Secondly, if you like this video, please share it with all the freaks in your life. And lastly, every Monday night, 8:30 p.m., head on over to frontrowatthefreakshow.com for the live streaming podcast of Front Row at the Freak Show. All right, peace.
Fall into frustration again.